video will show you how to do number 1 in your StatCrunch pre-reading assignment. The data set we're looking at is 2.1.25. So let's go ahead and open that up. So 2.1.25 here, and notice it's going to load this data set into StatCrunch for us automatically. Now StatCrunch is really sensitive to typos, so if you misspell Spanish on one of these and then it goes to do a frequency count, it doesn't understand that you made a typo and it's the same category. So occasionally that can happen when you're typing your own data. I found 1 or 2 places where these pre-programmed occasionally have something wrong, a typo. I don't think this one does. So let's just remind ourselves of the context here. It looks like in this case we're looking at a language scenario. Turn back to the page here, and looking at the number of college students studying this particular foreign language. So instead of answering A through F, we're just going to practice making a couple of different StatCrunch graphs. So the first thing we'll do is a frequency distribution and a relative frequency. We can actually do them at the same time. So you can hit, or you can do them separately. You can go to Stat, and then look for your Tables option. And notice it gives you a frequency choice. If you want to do both at the same time, we can. But before we do anything there, you actually have to select your column. So when you highlight this language, notice it puts it over here. This is the variables or the columns that it's going to be pulling from to create your graph. You really don't need to worry about a where right now. And we don't have anything that we're grouping by. This group by is a more sophisticated option that we may use occasionally later, but really not in Chapter 2. Then, for the statistics, notice that frequency and relative frequency are already highlighted. If we don't want both of them, you can unclick here, or I think we might have to go ahead and now select both of them. So hit Shift and then click so that both of these are highlighted. And then the order by, we really don't need to worry about this. If it's numerical or alphabetical, StatCrunch will usually do the value ascending. And then all we need to hit is compute. So then StatCrunch gives us a nice table. And this table you can copy and paste it. So if you click the options, you can copy, and then you can paste it into a Word document. Sometimes depending on the browser, or if you're using Windows versus Mac, you might have to use like the Control-C, or you might have to work with this a little bit. Notice mine is telling me I need to do Control-A and then Control-C, or I can right-click it and copy it. Usually for me, I end up doing the Control-C and then pasting it in. So notice we have our language, we have our frequencies, and then the relative frequencies. It doesn't necessarily give you the total at the bottom, but the count is right here. If we only wanted the frequencies, we could go back and make sure only one statistic was selected, or just do both at a time. So I'm going to close this part down. And that is all we are doing in the number 1.